All right, all right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Austin, Texas. It's currently 95 degrees and the heat is climbing quick. But that's not going to stop us. We're going to go around Austin, Texas today, and we're going to show you filming locations for the 1993 cult classic, Dazed and Confused. Let's go! So as the movie starts, everybody's getting released from school. You originally start with the high school kids getting out, everybody that's going to eventually become seniors, and then you have all the students that are about to become high schoolers, freshmen. And the school they're getting out of is right in front of me, right here. And if you're watching the movie, you can see right there, you can see that drain pipe. And actually where them two doors are, that's where that slide runs up that wall right there. You can see the kids coming out right behind me. They come out of these doors, and actually the buses would have been parked right here. So where that grass is now is where the buses would have been parked. But this is the school where Kramer and the boys are trying to get the heck out of there, because you got the up-and-coming seniors cruising by the school looking for them, because obviously rite of passage ritual is they're going to get their butts whooped by these paddles that these soon-to-be seniors had made. So this is Everett L. Williams School right outside of Austin. This is Georgetown, Texas. That's where the school is. I realized I was about to move on without telling you the name. But if you ever want to come check it out, you'll know where to find it. So when we first get introduced to the Top Notch in the movie, it's when Mike, Tony, and Cynthia are coming here to grab some food. Once the party's been canceled and it's not going to happen, at least the original plans for a party, that's when Wooderson and Slater drive through and let the three know that, hey, there still will be a party, and it's going to be at the Moon Tower. So basically this is the first shot you'd see as they come down. You see the Top Notch scene. I'm sorry, you see the Top Notch. So you first see the Top Notch sign when the scene starts. And as it eventually goes down to the awning where they would order the food, that's when it happens. And you can see in the back there where the trees were. Now it's a bunch of houses. I'm not sure if some of those trees were still the same from the movie. So I'm currently at 7000 Ardas Street in Austin, and I'm about to walk up onto the baseball field where Mitch knew it was coming while he was playing in the game, and he also knew there was nothing he could do about it. Mitch comes out of the right field gate. If you look in the parking lot that they're about to completely destroy him in with the paddles, you see this guardrail? Even though it's dark, you can clearly see that guardrail on that road that leads up that way. As he's coming out of the gate, and they're directing him to where they need him to be to assume the position and take his medicine. So I got some unfortunate news. And I don't feel like getting in trouble and breaking and entering or trespassing, but I'm going to show you some angles of this field and some of the parts in the scenes that you can still recognize. But apparently you can't get on this field. It's for rent. People that want to rent a baseball field for, you know, company events or games, softball, you know, tournaments and stuff like that, baseball tournaments, whatever it is, they can rent the field. But everything's locked unless I literally jump the fence, which I could. But again, I don't want to get in trouble. So let's see what I can show you from the angles I can get. So I want you to look at this angle right here. Now they've clearly added to this park, this fence specifically. All that fence that follows along the back outfield is obviously new. Well, it's not new, but it's not how it was in the film. So as I walk down, you can see these, all this part right here. You can see that in the movie. You can also see them when the guys are standing above the dugout, scaring the heck out of Kramer, letting him know he's about to get it, and he knows it. They're banging on the top of this aluminum awning right here. Again, they went to some great lengths to make sure people really don't get on this field, so kind of sucks, but it is what it is. You can recognize this. So you have the bleachers over here where everybody was sitting, and I can probably kind of get an all right shot of. So you got the pitcher's mound out there, right there, and you can clearly see Back there, you got the big backdrop, same as the movie. You got where the announcer's sat in that little area, halfway down. So I'm going to walk around and try to get a little bit of a different angle of the field. I mean, they went high. Obviously, the net's for foul balls. But O'Bannon and the fellas would have been right there behind the dugout, banging on the awning. Mitch out there on the pitching mound, about to strike out the opponent for the final out. And obviously, the guys would have took off that way because obviously Mitch went out the right field exit. And like I showed you, the parking lot's the same. You know that's where it happened at. Let's keep going. So we're leaving the baseball field, but I really got to be honest. I'm kind of disappointed. Disappointed because I didn't get to get on the field. And I'm also disappointed because I watched the scene, I watched the movie before I came and did these locations. But clearly I'm kind of an idiot for not noticing. I should have. Because when I was showing you the barriers, which I'm about to show you again right above the dugouts, where the guys were standing, which would have been along the right field side, clearly those are not the original awnings. That's a new dugout. And you can tell in the movie because where the green barrier is that they're leaning against, as Kramer's out there pitching and they're hooting and hollering and yelling at him, the dugout's a lot smaller and it's way lower down. So that's not the original awning. I'm goofy for even thinking that. I should have known that. But anyway, the baseball field, dazed and confused. Let's go to the next spot. So I'm walking around this parking lot right here at 6600 North Lamar Street. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you because that's where you can kind of see basically how the movie scene unfolded. But pretty much, if you look this way, and I'm going to show you a clip, but that's pretty much where you see Woodard rolling in. And this is where you would see the Emporium sign. And that is where you would have seen everybody hanging out. We'll walk up because, and I watched a few other videos where they were trying to decipher where the actual interiors were shot. I don't know if this was where it was. At the end, I think they determined that nothing really looked the same, but there was I believe there was once upon a time that there was somebody else doing a filming location here, and they basically let them in. But if you look right here, Violet Crown Shopping Center, Austin's first shopping center, built in 1951 by Clarence McClure and Dr. Joe Koning, site of filming of movie Dazed and Confused. I really don't think it's hard to match up the architecture when it comes to right here, especially with that corner and the way that it comes up. You can see that pretty distinctly. And then what I'm curious about is, you know, you see the Emporium sign pretty much across this way. Very large lettering. But my thing is if I was able to go in here, what would it look like? I'm gonna try to look in the window and see, but can't see in there at all. But this is definitely where they shot it at. Clearly they got a plaque, so it's not like I'm guessing or going by other people's, you know, opinions. Definitely shot it here. And you can definitely, the shopping center's still exactly the same, but they got the barbecue joint at the end down there. Come check it out if you like Texas barbecue. You know, as I stand out here where the Emporium was in the movie, it's a good chance to tell you, I remember when I was a kid, this movie came out in 93. I think I saw it for the first time I was 7 years old. So that would have made it 96. And I remember, I mean, I thought the movie was made in the 70s. I didn't know it was a 70s themed film, but made in the 90s. Eventually I learned that later, but I thought it was an awesome movie. I think I watched it over and over and over again. And around that age is when I was really into movies. My imagination ran wild, and this was one of my favorites. Emporium. You know, if you look right above that door entrance, see how the windows are? Same shape. That awning right above that van is exactly the same. And the building's exactly the same. You know, if you go back and watch the scene, you see O'Bannon, and once he gets the paint on him, he's completely pissed off. Comes across. That means right here. That's where the Emporium was. This is exactly where he would have pushed Mitch. His vehicle was parked right here, which means somewhere right here is where Ben Affleck broke that paddle. Freaking awesome. So this part right here, this Shell gas station was once Ballard's grab and go in the movie Dazed and Confused. And if the guys go around freaking just going nuts on some mailboxes, destroying everything, this is the gas station they pull into. And it is exactly the same. It doesn't say Ballard's no more. But I'm gonna walk up closer. But right there on the side of the building is where the guys parked. And that's where Mitch stood. And that's where the scene commences. So when they get out of the car and Mitch comes up, you see these are in the movie. Exactly the same. Only difference is they're blue. They're blue in the movie, but it's the same. They got a sign here, an ice cream sign. They got a trash can right there. And I mean literally, the awning is the same, the windows are the same, and the door is exactly the same. Just different color. Pretty cool, pretty cool. It's Ballard's grocery store from Dazed and Confused. It was right before the boys get a gun pulled on them and pull off in that direction and get the heck out of there. And as they're driving down the street, they get shot at about half a dozen times. Awesome. So right now, I'm walking in West Enfield Park, Austin, Texas. And this is where we're going to conclude the video. I have something I had to take care of. I will not be able to complete some of the locations, but for the most part, I got the main ones I wanted. But this one right here. Now, yes, I'm probably like everybody else. The party at the Moon Tower, I assume, was up on a hill somewhere. Maybe there was a water tower or an actual moon tower. And then there is a part in the scene where Mitch, Slater, and a couple of the guys are climbing up a tower of sorts, which there's tons of those around Austin. So there's no telling where they actually shot that. I could dig deep into it and try to find out, but I know that right here in West Enfield Park, which you can clearly see, it's just a bunch of grass. There's still trees here. I hope, but I don't know if any of these trees that I'm walking by were planted long after the movie was shot, or if they're part of the movie where those scenes were of them walking through, all these young kids just walking through, getting drunk, having a blast, and falling on the ground, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We know what they're doing. If you saw the movie, you know what they're doing. But it was here at West Enfield Park where that was shot. Party at the Moon Tower. So I'm going to leave you off here. Now, this is absolutely awesome. I have fun doing this. I love Dazed and Confused, especially as I got in my teenage years. Definitely a cult classic. One of my all-time favorites, just because it never is boring. There's not a dull moment in the movie. And so many great actors. Just Ben Affleck and Matthew McConaughey. I mean, just that right there. I mean, but there's so many other people that went on to do Broadway and tons of other movies. So it's a young cast that had some power stars in that movie. But this is where we'll end it. If you want to come or go anywhere, go. If you want to do anything you want to do, go do it. If there's anybody you want to meet, no matter who it is, go meet them. And remember, always dream big.